The city of Calgary has a long legacy of downhill skiing. It dates all the way back to the 1920s, when Scandinavian settlers constructed a ski jump overlooking the Elbow River. Now, the city of Calgary has had several ski areas come and go throughout the decades. In this video, I'll discuss both of Calgary's lost downhill ski areas, Ski Shaganappi and Happy Valley. I'll also briefly look at the small ski areas that predated these two. So, with the introduction out of the way, let's delve into Calgary's downhill skiing history. Calgary's first official ski area was located at Elbow Park, overlooking the Elbow River. This wasn't a traditional ski area, but rather a ski jump. Many prairie cities across Alberta, such as Edmonton and Camrose, had ski jumps. All these ski jumps had been developed by Scandinavian immigrants prior to World War I. Calgary did not gain its first ski jump until 1920, when a group of Scandinavians formed the Calgary Ski Jump. The land that the Elbow Park ski jump sat on was owned by a local realtor, who gave the club free use of the land. By February of 1920, a 40-foot ski jump was erected, and the Elbow Park jump officially opened for competitions. Now, the ski jump lasted around 2 years, but unfortunately, it never really caught on with local residents. By the mid-1920s, the Calgary Ski Club had fizzled out, and the ski jump was eventually dismantled and rebuilt elsewhere. Despite the failure of the Elbow Park ski jump, downhill skiing never truly left the city. By the mid-1930s, a renewed interest in the sport began to emerge in Calgary. In 1932, with the help of several enthusiasts who recently moved to the city, the Calgary Ski Club was officially reborn. The club experienced significant growth in the 1930s and organized frequent trips to Mount Norquay, which was, at the time, one of North America's premier ski destinations. Now, traveling to Banff was expensive. Although the weekend trips to Norquay were popular, not every skier could afford to go out. By the late 1930s, the club struck deals with several golf courses to ski on the fairways. Unsurprisingly, this deal didn't last too long before the golf courses kicked the club out. Skiing in Calgary exploded after the 1930s, and it sustained its popularity even during the Second World War. However, though the Calgary Ski Club was thriving, there was no permanent location where the club could meet. Skiers would regularly ski down whatever city hill had the best natural snow. Trips to Norquay or Sunshine were common, but they were expensive. However, by the late 1940s, the ski club decided they needed a permanent base in the city. In 1948, the club asked the City Parks Department for use of the Shaganappi Park Golf Course as a downhill ski area. The city agreed, and in 1949, Shaganappi became the base of the Calgary Ski Club. The golf clubhouse was used by the club, and the hills down to the river were cleared by club members. An old grain blower was touted as a way to ensure the hill remained adequately covered by snow. Nightlights were added to the ski slope, and club members enjoyed free lessons. By 1950, the city granted the club the ability to charge non-members for access to the ski club facilities. The city also allowed the club to install a rope tow. Now, despite the popularity of the hill, tensions were building between the club and the city. Reportedly, the pipes had frozen and burst in the golf clubhouse, which cost the city a hefty amount to fix. Additionally, one night, a truck was driven across one of the greens, which caused major damage. As a result, by 1951, the city had terminated the club's contract to use the Shaganappi Golf Course as a ski hill. While the ski club lost access to the Shaganappi Golf Course, they did not give up. Instead, they turned their sights to the Bowness Golf and Country Club in the nearby town of Bowness. Rather than operate on golf course greens, the club was able to lease land owned by the golf course directly on the Bow River. A local construction company donated a shack, and despite an extremely warm Chinook, the Bowness Ski Hill opened in February of 1952. The club was able to move the Shaganappi rope tow to the new location. However, by March of 1952, a fire destroyed the shack that was used as the clubhouse. The fire forced the ski club to reevaluate the hill. The club subsequently decided to go all in on the development of downhill facilities at Bowness. Throughout the 1950s, the ski club attempted to purchase the land from the golf club. In all cases, they were not able to raise enough capital to pull this off. Despite this, the ski facilities remained in operation. Unfortunately, by the late 1950s, interest in the Bowness Ski Hill had completely waned. The terrain was perfect for beginner skiers, but pretty much for nobody else. By 1958, it was reported that the hill was used more by sledders than by skiers. Unsurprisingly, by 1960, the Calgary Ski Club made the decision to close the Bowness Ski Hill. Although the Bowness Ski Hill closed in 1960, two new ski hills in Calgary opened, Pascapoo and Happy Valley. Pascapoo ended up becoming the current Canada Olympic Park, and thus I won't really discuss it in this video. But for now, let's discuss Happy Valley. The land that the current Valley Ridge neighborhood sits on, directly west of the city off the Trans-Canada Highway, was once where Happy Valley was located. In 1958, Ernie Lutz, a local businessman, purchased 340 acres of land bordering the river and the highway. Lutz had a vision for a recreation area that would include a campground, golf course, swimming pools, other outdoor attractions, and a ski hill. By the summer of 1961, Lutz had invested over $1.5 million, and the impressive facility opened to the public. In its early years, it was a big success. The ski hill opened in 1961 and initially opened with one single Palma platter lift servicing 4 runs. In 1962, a second Palma platter was installed. A Larchmont snowmaking system that fed directly from the Bow River ensured that Happy Valley's ski area remained covered, even during warmer weather. In the 1960s, Happy Valley drew most of its crowd from the Calgary Herald Ski School. The Herald Ski School taught hundreds of kids how to ski and was a big driver of the Happy Valley Ski Hill. Happy Valley operated throughout the 1960s. Ernie Lutz put the property on the market in 1967, though he was ultimately unable to find a buyer. The city of Calgary had an opportunity to purchase the property, but reportedly refused to do so. The property was sold to a California-based property development group in 1971, though Lutz continued to stay at the forefront of Happy Valley. The property was envisioned as becoming Canada's Disneyland. For various reasons, this never happened. Throughout the 1970s, Happy Valley slowly but steadily declined as it suffered a lack of any sort of investment in the facilities. In 1974 and 1976, the city of Calgary explored purchasing the land, though both times they ultimately refused to do so. In 1976, a local Calgarian, Bob Allen, purchased the land. Bob Allen added an 18-hole golf course, which is still in operation today. Under his ownership, the former park was slowly phased out, though the ski hill continued to operate. Bob Allen ended up selling the Happy Valley property in 1978 to another American group who planned to create a Hollywood North complex on the lot. Now, for a host of various reasons, this plan also never happened. The ski hill's last year of operation was in 1979, before the entire Happy Valley complex was ultimately shut down. The land that Happy Valley sat was vacant until 1992, when the current Valley Ridge neighborhood was developed. The golf course is still in operation. Although not much remains of Happy Valley, several of the old ski runs are still visible on the hillside in Valley Ridge. Let's now go back to the Shaganappi Golf Course. While the Calgary Ski Club had failed to create a ski hill there in the 1950s, this wasn't the last attempt. In 1970, a housing development proposal for the Shaganappi Golf Course caused the city to reevaluate the golf course. The city concluded that selling off public land would set a dangerous precedent, and concluded that the city needed to double down on recreation efforts. This paved the way for Walter Bollinger, a local businessman, to create a brand new ski area on city-owned land using his own funds. Ski Shaganappi officially opened in 1971 with 2 portable rope tows extending down the valley. The first season was overall a success, and a 3rd rope tow had been installed by 1972. Walter Bollinger had an agreement with the city that all skiing would disappear from the golf course by April 15th. This meant that all lifts had to be portable. A snowmaking system and many snow fences helped ensure that warm Chinook spells didn't make the snow disappear. Bollinger added night skiing, which proved to be very popular. In 1973, Bollinger announced that a new 1,400-foot Mueller T-bar would be installed. The T-bar ran from the bottom of the gully to somewhat in the golf course. The towers in the golf course were all designed to be portable, so they could be easily removed for golf season. More steep runs were cleared down the river valley. Unfortunately, the 1974 season was deeply unprofitable for Ski Shaganappi as warm weather persisted into early February. However, with additional snowmaking investments in 1975, Ski Shaganappi boasted a resilient snowpack. The ski hill even added a small freestyle park. Both the 1976 and 1977 ski seasons proved to be huge successes and all drew sizable crowds. A used platter, potentially from Happy Valley, was installed on beginner slopes in 1977 and the T-bar was completely renovated. In 1978, Walter Bollinger lost Ski Shaganappi as the city council decided to accept a different bid from Getty's Holdings Limited to run the facilities. Getty's promised the city to pay them $52,000 per year under a 5-year contract. This would amount to around a fifth of the ski area's gross sales from the 1977 to 78 season. Walter Bollinger, who still owned all the snowmaking equipment and lifts, stated that this was not economically possible for the ski area to cede 1/5 of its gross sales to the city. Nonetheless, Getty's operated a revamped Shaganappi Ski World for the abysmal 1978 to 79 ski season. Despite purchasing and installing a used T-bar from Sunshine, renovating the lodge, and renovating the overall facilities, the winter that year was practically non-existent. Unfortunately, this caused the bankruptcy of Shaganappi Ski World. Over the next 2 years, the city received several offers to operate the ski hill, including from Walter Bollinger. However, by 1981, the city ultimately decided to end all skiing at Shaganappi. According to the city, Paskapoo had much greater vertical and more built-up facilities than Shaganappi did. High competition, limited terrain, and warm weather made operating Ski Shaganappi difficult. The old ski runs can still be seen when driving southbound on Crowtrail Trail, passing over the river. I'm not entirely sure where the lifts once stood, but this would be my best educated guess as to where they once were. As you can see, the city of Calgary has a long and storied history of downhill skiing. This video was intended to provide a brief overview of Calgary's former downhill facilities that once operated but no longer exist. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, this is Skier72.